Welcome. So, you're a coach or a consultant, and you want to bring in clients, like consistently, right? But you don't want to spend a single dime on ads. Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful and honestly super simple system to make that happen. But first, before we get to the solution, we've got to talk about the problem, because it's a trap so many coaches are stuck in. Let's dive right in and talk about what I call the modern coach's trap. It's this incredibly frustrating cycle where you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to. You're creating content, you're posting, you're engaging, but you're just not getting the clients you know you deserve. It's so easy to fall into, and man, it can feel impossible to get out of. So let me ask you, does this sound familiar? You pour hours and hours into creating amazing content. Videos, posts, maybe even articles, but it feels like you're just shouting into the void. It just gets lost in this giant, messy digital universe we call the content web. You're putting in all this effort, and your stuff just isn't getting the traction it should. And here's the kicker. Here's why it's so hard. We're not just competing with other coaches. We're competing in a global space where the average human attention span is now less than 3 seconds. That's it. People are just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So the real question is, how on earth do you stand out? How do you actually make a connection when you've got just a tiny moment to grab them? Well, this pressure often leads to a very specific problem that I like to call shiny subject syndrome. You know what I'm talking about. One week, it's all about building complex funnels. The next week, some guru is screaming about a new AI tool. Then someone else says you have to be running ads. You're just jumping from one shiny new thing to the next, burning up all your time and energy. And when you look up, you're still stuck in the exact same place. Now, what's so interesting here is that the solution isn't some other complicated strategy. It's not a brand new tool you have to learn. It's actually a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's a whole new approach to your business. See, on one side, you've got the chasing mentality. This is all about the constant outreach, the cool DMs, the paid ads. It's exhausting, and let's be honest, it often feels kind of slimy. But on the other side, you've got the attracting philosophy. This is about creating an aura, a presence, providing so much value that you naturally draw your ideal clients to you. And this isn't just theory. Check this out. One of my amazing clients, Palomi, she told me she was skeptical at first. She thought, sure, this attracting thing is easy for you, you're experienced. But once she started putting it into practice herself, she had this huge light bulb moment where she realized the true art, the real power of attracting instead of chasing. Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, I get it, but how do I actually build this thing? How do you create an engine that runs on this attraction philosophy and brings you leads organically, day in and day out? Let's get into the mechanics. I call it the 3-duck system. And yeah, I know it might sound a little bit silly, but it's a really simple metaphor. Just like getting your ducks in a row, these 3 pieces have to work together perfectly. They are the 3 essential pillars for generating organic leads, especially on a platform like Facebook. The first duck, and honestly, the most important one, is your profile. I want you to start thinking of your personal profile as your new landing page. That means you need a nice, clear professional headshot. It means your cover banner needs to scream exactly who you help and how you help them. And finally, you've got to have a featured section that shows off your credibility with real client results. And you really have to let this sink in. Your profile isn't just some social account anymore. When you optimize it the right way, it becomes your #1 lead magnet. It's out there working for you 24/7, attracting the right people, and pre-qualifying them before you've even said a word. So what about the other 2 ducks? Well, they complete the system. The second duck is all about leveraging Facebook groups. Now, the key here is you are not going in there to sell. You're finding communities where your ideal clients already hang out, and you're just providing genuine value. Answer their questions, share your insights, become that go-to person. And the third duck? That's Facebook stories. This is where you show your real human being. Share the behind the scenes, the wins, the struggles. This is how you build deep, authentic trust with your audience. Okay, so your attraction engine is up and running. People are starting to pay attention. So now what? Let's move on to the next critical piece. How do you turn that attention into actual high-value conversations with potential clients? For this part, we use something I call the washing machine method. And again, it's just a simple metaphor for a very human process. This has nothing to do with cheesy sales scripts or high-pressure tactics. It's about a simple, 4-step cycle that naturally turns a friendly chat into a booked call, all by building real trust. The steps are just as simple as doing your laundry. First, you load by having everything ready to go, like that killer profile we talked about. Then you wash, and that's where you build the relationship. Next up is spin and rinse, where you qualify them to make sure it's a good fit for both of you. And finally, you dry, which is where you book the call. See? Simple, systematic, and totally focused on connection.
So how do you even start that wash cycle without being weird or salesy? Here is a dead simple, actionable formula you can use today. LCM. Before you ever send a message, go to their profile. Love 3 of their recent posts. Leave 2 genuine, thoughtful comments. Then, and only then, do you send 1 personal message. This just warms up the whole interaction and proves you're not just another spammer.
And the result of this approach? It's incredible. This quote is from Dr. Sayani Das. She was just amazed that in a single 30-minute call, a call that started with this simple trust-first process, she got so much clarity and value that she literally called it mind-blowing. That's the power of leading with connection, not a pitch. Now, as we start to wrap this all up, I want you to understand something. This entire system, from the 3 ducks all the way to the washing machine, it's all built on one single foundational belief. And that belief is simply this: selling is serving. If you approach every single interaction with the genuine intention to help someone, to serve them, to solve their problem, the selling just takes care of itself. People can feel your intention. When you truly come from a place of service, trust is built automatically. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. What would change in your business, in your conversations, in your results, if your only goal, starting today, was just to help people? Not to sell to them, but to truly, genuinely serve them. Just think about that.